In video game design, it's important to identify what is the key action or verb in a video game. For a game like Call of Duty or Halo, the key verb would be shoot. For racing games like Forza or Gran Turismo, it would be drive. And for a platforming game like Mario, the key verb would be jump. Obviously, the more fun and dynamic the verb is, the more fun and enthralling the game is likely to be. But for video game creator Hideo Kojima and Death Stranding 2, the key verb is rather simple and unassuming: walk. For all of its flaws and shortcomings, whether it be its overly complicated plot and lore, sometimes unnecessarily long cutscenes, and over-the-top scenarios, Death Stranding 2 is a powerful exercise in empathy, as players walk in the steps of an unassuming hero that can only work in a video game. The act of walking is nothing new in video games. It's a rather dull action players try to avoid, as most players seek to waste as little time as possible and will sprint or use other vehicles to get to their objective as quickly as they can. And it's not like it's anything new either, with a very basic action going all the way back to the very beginning of video games. So why make an entire video game out of this key action and delivering packages? And why is Death Stranding 2 garnering so much praise and attention from critics? Death Stranding 2 on the beach centers around main character Sam Porter Bridges on his quest to help deliver important packages to people scattered across Mexico and Australia. And along the way, he helps to provide these scattered and secluded scientists, biologists, veterinarians, and architects with access to the chiral network, the game's version of what's essentially the internet. Of course, there are moments of action interspersed throughout, but that's not the main focus. Death Stranding's main gameplay loop revolves around you, the player, picking up mail, transporting it to someone across the map, staring out into the vistas, and ultimately repeating that cycle for other employers. Eat, sleep, deliver packages, and repeat. Some watching this video might even be able to empathize with this lifestyle in their own real-world jobs. But again, it's in the little, unassuming details that make the game interesting. In the late 90s, video game creator Hideo Kojima asked players to slow down, think about their every action, and not go in guns blazing. If you look back at his other popular video game franchise, Metal Gear Solid, arguably the primary verb there is sneak. Consider that the first Metal Gear Solid game was created at a time when most games had more robust, action-oriented verbs, where the main focus was to put players in the middle of explosive action as quickly as possible. Kojima asked players to take a step back, think, study their enemies, and be methodical in order to get past their objectives. With Death Stranding 2, Kojima asked players to yet again stop and think about their actions. In a video game landscape that is so prevalent with running and trying to achieve things at blazing speeds unattainable in real life, Kojima is interested in slowing you, the player, down and making you walk and meditate. He wants you to think about your every step, the journey you're on, the trepidation and uncertainty of whether or not you're going to make it, and also the joy, reassurance, and encouragement of making it to your destination.
This is what you're good at, remember? What you said.
But on his way there, for Sam, there will always be too much to carry. As Sam transports these packages from one location to another, often traveling miles and miles and with hundreds of pounds of cargo on his back, it's a lot for just one person to put on his shoulders. You, the player, experience the same stress, worry, and trepidation that Sam also goes through, wondering how in the world you're ever going to make it, whether or not you really need to carry all of this equipment, and the fear of possibly leaving something behind that you might actually need. But what makes it worse is that on your way there, You'll find the cargo of others and stuff that other people need, but have gotten lost along the way. The trouble is, you already have too much to carry. Your load is heavy as it is. It can be so easy to be jaded, think we don't need to help people along the way, tell ourselves that they can help themselves, and that we need to focus on our own tasks, which may be literally strapped to our backs. But Death Stranding 2 asks us to stretch our hearts a little more, challenging us to take on one more responsibility, because we all need a little help sometimes.
How you doing, Sam?
Consider too that part of Death Stranding 2's experience is coming across other structures and tools that other players have constructed or left behind. They're there so that your journey and experience don't have to be as difficult. Sam will have to cross large, overflowing rivers, rappel down snowy cliffs, and climb over large mountains. But the ladders, bridges, ropes, roadways, and rail systems that other players have helped build and sacrifice their resources for are what can save you and relieve some of that pressure and danger on your journey. The sad part is that in the game, you'll never encounter any of these other players. Even many of the characters in the story will be interacted with through holograms, never meeting in person. These other players are strangers who just want to help and care for one another. The challenge of the game is that even though you don't necessarily get much of a reward in return, will you help to return the favor and make someone else's journey easier as well? Sure, Death Stranding 2 can be compared to many other walking simulators, and there's no arguing that it can be dull for those just watching it, or for those who aren't interested in meditative types of games. But I think Death Stranding 2 is a masterpiece in capturing that human tendency to doubt, feel discouraged, but then later feel re-encouraged, and to talk ourselves into getting back up.
You should have more faith in yourself.
We all face doubts, question ourselves on our journeys, can feel alone and stranded by ourselves. And if you read Kojima's book, The Creative Gene, these are all emotions Kojima himself is very well acquainted with. But as Sam and you, the player, get closer to the objective and begin to see the finish line, the game will play a relaxing and chill song, showcase the beauty of the natural world around you, and serve as a contemplative reminder that everything will be okay and that others are there as well to help take that weight off your shoulders.
Everything we know is from the radio. Everything we dream is never what they seem.
Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I've got less time to play video games that this game really hit me. Or maybe it's because as we grow older, we take on more and more responsibility, putting even greater weights on our shoulders. But either way, I think Death Stranding 2 is Hideo Kojima's greatest accomplishment, as it's his way of showing care and concern for humanity. We can all do more to help one another out, either by helping to carry their load for them, sharing a few words of encouragement, or simply comforting them with a nice lullaby while they go on walking their journey. These little things may seem insignificant, and our real-life jobs might just be clean toilets, serve as a cashier, or deliver packages. But it's these little touches of human interactivity that make us just a little more connected.